Hi, I'm Diane Brady, and I'm Assistant Managing Editor with Forbes. And thank you, first of all, Secretary Clinton, Chelsea Clinton. We're here to talk about Gutsy. And I wanted to start because I'm so curious, as somebody who interviews people for a living, including both of you. I mean, you're so used to being on the other side of the table. What was it like actually chasing down fresh material and interviewing newsmakers yourself?
We have talked a lot about that because it truly is different being on the side of the table, as you say, Diane, who is now asking the questions and trying to figure out the follow-up and doing the research beforehand, all of which you're so familiar with. I found it fascinating and hard. It's a very different set of skills, and I don't know, I think we got better as we went, or at least I'll speak for myself and say that I did.
Well, I think we are such curious people, and sometimes
in both senses of the word,
right, in all senses. and I think, Diane, one of the challenges that we got better at sort of protecting ourselves from falling into was like, oh my gosh, wait, that's so fascinating, and I want to go down that like stream of conversation, but actually I know that we're supposed to be talking about like how one stands up to hate or comedy. Like, we did have subjects to frame each episode. And yet, of course, part of what makes all of the women so fascinating is that they're multidimensional. It was hard to be like, oh no, wait, we are here talking about this, and this is really important, even though I want to know about your pets, and like I want to know why nature is important to you, and like how you made the choice to like do A and B in life. But no, we have to focus on this. That took sort of internal discipline and sometimes nudging each other.
Yeah, it did.
Well, and there's also a lot of sharing, and so I'm curious about the degree to which, especially being out of office, being in a different, stage of what you want to be giving back and such, that those sort of candid conversations and who you are, did that help a lot with regard to who you picked? Because I'm looking at the list and it's glitter, Kim Kardashian, Megan Thee Stallion, Jane Goodall. I mean, these are good gets,
yes,
as we like to say.
We wanted to mostly have people that you've never heard of before, and we succeeded in doing that. But I think it was also interesting to take, some of those big names that everybody knows and go at it from a different angle. So with Kim Kardashian, we had a serious conversation about her work in criminal justice and why she wanted to become a lawyer, and her persistence despite failing the bar over and over again to keep going because she wanted that credential to do the work she is now devoted to help people who have been wrongfully incarcerated or unfairly in terms of the length of the sentence for what they were convicted of. And, with Jane Goodall, you think about her being this incredible icon.
Leakey's angel.
But to have Chelsea just sit and talk with her while she was sipping her whiskey,
yes.
just to kind of create this cozy atmosphere with her, which was so exciting. So we took, obviously, the names that were well known, but we wanted to put them in situations where, again, their multi-dimensional interests and their commitments would be viewed. So that for us was a lot of fun because we knew them before, but this gave us a chance to introduce them in a new way to others.
Now, I know the book, and tell me a bit about the conceit of getting outside your comfort zone, because that does seem to be the motif of what you picked, whether you're, the clown knows everything else. I mean, is that essentially the message that you're trying to convey? Is just this,
the activities we did, though, Dan, were not our choice. I mean, we let our guests choose what they wanted to do. I mean, I don't know if I would have chosen surfing as one example, because I clearly
you did the surfing.
I have no skill. At least I haven't discovered it yet. Maybe it's coming. And we went rock climbing and we painted and we cooked and we danced and we did comedy. And so we really did, say to the people who were generous enough to, share their time and kind of their gutsiness, like, how would you like to engage? What would you like to do? And so don't give us too much credit for doing those things. But I do think you're right in that we wanted it to be in a place of vulnerability and to have, honest and candid conversations. We thought that would be more dynamic and compelling we also hoped that it would help people think, well, maybe these are the types of conversations I could have in my own life with, my mother or my daughter or my friends. And so it is very much both because we hoped it would be kind of engaging for people to watch and also kind of empowering for people to then think about, how do I get inspired by Megan Thee Stallion, or how do I get inspired by
Dolores Huerta.
Yeah.
Did you think about picking political peers? I mean, or did you try to avoid that?
It's funny because we started off with no preconceptions. When we decided that we were going to accept the offer from Apple TV Plus, it became a real partnership. They had ideas, we obviously had ideas, and so we began to work that through. I think that for a lot of the stories we wanted to tell, we didn't want to just do politics, because that would be very predictable coming from me, obviously. And your earlier point, getting out of the comfort zone, well, yeah, I mean, we wanted to do things, even though they were, as Chelsea said, the request of our interview subjects. We wanted to do things that were different, that would stretch us. And I think it's fair to say Chelsea got stretched more, because there were several activities that were chosen that were not.
You were happy to cheer.
That I was happy to cheer. Yes, you on. But it was so intriguing to me. Number one, to see what people would choose. But number two, to have more universal conversations. There's something about somebody in politics, and I think most people go, well, that's not me. I mean, I either couldn't do that, I wouldn't want to do that, I'm not interested in that. But if you talk to somebody like Sylvia Velasquez Lovato, who took her sexual abuse as a child, and was traumatized by it, and then found her path to becoming a mountain climber, and has ascended all of the biggest, highest peaks on all continents. You take somebody like that, it opens a different conversation. So it wasn't that I don't think either one of us had no politicians. That wasn't at all the case, because in their own ways, a lot of these people are political, with a small p. They're trying to make change. They're trying to contribute in the way that they feel most comfortable. But we wanted this to be a set of conversations that would truly invite a large segment of the audience into feeling like, oh, I get that. I understand that.
I can see myself in that.
I can see myself in that.
Well, this